Hello everyone and welcome back. We've got game one all wrapped up between the Thunderducks and LandBeforeTime. Game one gonna go over to the Thunderducks here. Pretty convincing win, a 25-minute one, 34-7 I believe were the kills.
Yeah.
So pretty one-sided. Just a huge snowball coming from Thunderducks after that game one.
Well, they built the comp around snowballing. They had a Riven, they had a LeBlanc, something. They definitely, if they get the kills early on there, then they get out of control. So, I mean, if they can keep that up going into the pick and ban phase, kind of play to their strengths, which definitely is early game pressure with that Metaphor and Taeyang, if they can kind of build those comps, then I feel like they're going to pull out ahead here. But LandBeforeTime, they got to kind of juggle it pretty well here. I mean, they're going to take away the Gnar again. I definitely see a Victor ban coming out once again. Probably a very similar pick and ban, or ban-wise anyways, coming out here from both teams.
Yeah, I'm maybe expecting a Gnar Victor Riven kind of style ban. Riven is another champion that's banned mostly away from Panda too. Just so scary and such a snowball-y champ. You think about at least taking away from the Thunderducks. But the third ban could be a jungle ban, Crafty, as well.
I wouldn't really see it being towards, they take away the R, maybe it's not something they really felt was useful for them and don't want to let it go over to Taeyang.
Especially on red side,
Yeah, and I don't think really that Lee Sin is worth a ban. If you get to that late game, it falls off, but it has that early game pressure that it just wasn't able to stop, especially once they got Panda ahead with Metaphor.
Metaphor's champion pool is also just humongous. You know, you take away Lee Sin, he picks Rengar, which is pretty much does some of the same things. You know, goes for those kind of pick style things. Can be aggressive early once level 6 hits. Pretty much just ulting every time it's up. A first rotation Orianna being picked up here by the Thunderducks, taking away a little bit from Unfriendly Panda here. Is a champion that Unfriendly Panda has played in the past. Azir still left up, but it is going to be the time Kench, he is unbenched.
They've unclogged the frog.
They've unclogged the frog and all those other little sayings. You know,
I need some memers, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of curious to see that it was first rotation, not a champion that we see many teams play at all. And honestly, probably could have been left up till a little bit later if they really wanted. But taking it first rotation along with the Jinx, definitely a champion that True Rise can play. I'm just so excited to see how that will go. It definitely does well into an Ashe, which is now picked up by Pulses, but the Janna being picked up by Dev.
I mean, it is something that we've seen him play, so.
Yeah.
Interesting to note that they didn't wait for the last pick on to True Rise this time. They're going to leave they got to choose sides. They picked red for game two, so they will be red again, and they're going to probably use that counter pick for solo lane, hopefully help them get into a comfort role, know who they're against, and hopefully maybe not fall as far behind, or maybe even win lane.
Yeah, kind of expecting a jungle and a mid pick here. They already know that Taeyang's going to be playing Orianna. No problem in showing who their mid laner is going to be. They can already see what they're up against, so they can counter it well. Expecting the last pick to be left to Kaladir here. And it is going to be the LeBlanc and the Hecarim probably going to be picked up here. Now, Hecarim is a flex as well. Can be played in the top lane or the jungle. Mostly seen in the top lane nowadays, but
we do see Metaphor love to play
Metaphor
in the jungle
does love
too.
to play Hecarim in the jungle, so obviously can work. And now it's up to the Thunderducks to pick up their last two picks here.
They're hovering the fiddlesticks again. I mean, that's a favorite of Metaphor. He's always kind of had that one up his sleeve, and teams are probably pretty terrified of him actually letting that one go through. But I don't know if he's going to go for that. I mean, there still is like everything in his champion pool left open, maybe except they took away the Hecarim now, but it's not something we've seen him play lately. But yeah, I mean, what they're going to pick up here for Panda 210 in the top lane, that's what I'm curious about because, again, yeah, the Hecarim is a flex, but that's probably going to go towards Kaladir in the top lane. That's where you've seen it a lot more often lately, rather than not. Probably going to go with a Riven again, it looks like here. Obviously, they definitely could. He had a very great game on it last game. A lot of dueling potential there. It's a very big lane bully. The Rise, though, that could be a real switcheroo here. And they're going to switch it to the Rengar to have some more AD going into this because if they do lock in the Rise, which they did, that's a lot of magic damage coming out of that team. They can't really rely on Pulses solely to do the AD there, so they're going to lock in the Rengar to help them out.
I do notice a lack of front line, though, from the Thunderducks. So if we do get to that late game, the LeBlanc will just blow up pretty much anybody. And it looks like an Echo jungle. Saving the last pick for a jungle, quite interesting, actually. But I did like them not picking the Riven, just because I believe Hecarim is pretty actually almost stronger than the Riven in lane, except for I do believe Panda is pretty strong. That champion.
Yeah, so. True. Definitely. And I think Ryze is probably just a little bit easier to play against in lane in some regards with some picks. Ryze obviously really strong in its own right, but I think just there's a couple more options you can have against it, and it looks like it is going to be the Echo top. Now, Echo is a flex pick as well, could have been played jungle, mid, top. I think we've pretty much seen it in all 3 lanes in competitive play.
I don't know.
Probably within like the same 3 weeks. But it looks like it's going to be the top lane Hecarim instead, and it'll be the jungle Echo. But jungle Echo, tank-wise, was nerfed pretty heavily. They pretty much took away a lot of his utility and a lot of his tank stats and buffed his damage. So rewarding it when you build full damage Echo and not just full tank Echo.
No, definitely. I'm very curious to see how this Ryze actually pans out. I mean, we've seen it a couple times, like just in the mid lane, stuff like that. But once he decides to finish up the Roa and the tier and, you know, finish up his stacking items and actually build some damage, that's when it's going to really take off. And that's when I'm going to be curious to see how they decide to utilize this Ryze with the TP, if they're going to make some big plays in the bot lane. The Jinx, very, very risky pick here, especially when you have a Rengar, when you have an Orianna, and you have a Ryze. It's got a point and click, and a point and click snare. You have the arrow coming in there for some huge engage, and then you have the Rengar that can just destroy you. So maybe a Tristana with some self peel would have been a little bit better, but the Tahm Kench, very good support in this case because I mean you can just gobble them up and run off. But still very it's like this comp was made to destroy AD carries.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the kind of the trouble. You mentioned Crafty not leaving the ADC to the very last pick, which is probably a good strategy, but picking it first rotation also has its kind of downsides, and that's being able to see that it's a hyper carry with low mobility, regardless of whether it's paired with a Tahm Kench. You can still pick stuff that'll just instantly destroy it, like Rengar and the big wombo combo kind of things, like the ball onto the Rengar and just flying in there invisible.
I love that.
Exactly. The ball delivery. And, you know, pick and ban's just this big game of cat and mouse. And, you know, it's all about the mind games and what you're picking when and where and all the different counters that kind of go across. So it's definitely tough for teams to decide when they're going to pick what champs and in what roles and what order. So, unfortunately for True Rice, it didn't really go his way, this one. But you know what? Looking at other sides of the map, there's still a lot of room for LandBeforeTime to be able to take control of this game.
Absolutely. But like we were saying, yeah, they don't have a lot of front line at all, so they're very squishy. And this team, they're a very good team fighting team. They do a lot of AoE damage with the Hecarim, with the Echo coming in there with his ultimate. I mean, that does an absurd amount of damage even if you build full tank. So, I mean, they have a lot of tools to work with here, and they can really kind of turn this one around. Even though they don't have the front line, I do like the Janna pickup. It has a lot of disengage, so if Hecarim decides to go in, they can kind of shove everyone else out there and then focus on the Hecarim, take him out, and then turn it around, team fight. Same with the Echo if he decides to go in. If Tahm Kench decides to ult in, they have a lot of tools to turn this around, disengage, and just a great team fight potential here with the Orianna and the Ashe. I do like the combo a lot.
We haven't really seen HT300 play the Echo in the jungle, so I'm interested to see that combo. A lot of magic damage from the LandBeforeTime here, and if they can get to that late game, I think they can pull ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we're going to take a short break, guys. We're going to play some ads from our sponsors real quick. Don't go anywhere. We've got Game 2 coming up between the Thunderdogs and LandBeforeTime. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we are coming back into the champ loading screen here. on the blue side for Game 2, we've got the Thunderducks, and we've got Panda 210 in the top lane playing that Rise. Metaphor in the jungle going to bring out his Mastery level 5 Rengar. Tang in the mid lane playing Orianna. In the bot lane is going to be Pulsus and Devmaster J on Ashe and Janna.
And on the red side, we have LandBeforeTime with Caladir bringing in that Headless Hecarim with the Halloween just passing. HG300 playing his Echo. Unfriendly Panda on LeBlanc. True Rice and Sharptooth in the bot lane playing Jinx and the Kench. Tom Kench.
Boom. Unbenched the Kench. I'm a little surprised that I didn't see a level 5 mastery on Pulse's Ashe since he plays it so much. but I do know that talking to a lot of players from all different teams, a lot of the champions that they like to play kind of in solo queue and their favorite champions aren't necessarily champions that they want to bring out in the team setting. Like Devmaster J has told me that his favorite champion is Thresh, and he doesn't play it that often.
I don't think I've seen him play it yet.
He hasn't. He's played it a couple times, but 2 games out of the however many games we had is not a lot. He's playing a lot of Braum and a lot of Alistar just because that's what's so strong. Thresh, I think, is the third probably best support right now, but Metaphor Panda going for the same kind of strategy as last game. I think they went for the Tribush, the exact same last game, and they found Caladir instead of H300. Sharptooth is in for this game instead of Cletus Cassidy. Do want to mention that as well. Sharptooth was a little bit late to the party, so unfortunately Cletus had to go in there for him in the support role, but now he's back, and he's playing that Kench with the chef. Master Chef Kench too.
So maybe they'll have that bot lane synergy going here, hopefully,
or maybe he'll be feeding.
Yeah.
Just because the skin, guys. Come on, Sharptooth is a good player.
Okay, we don't have jokes here. Okay?
Oh, sorry, I forgot this is an all serious all the time stream, but a lot of action going in and a lot of wards in the top side of the map for the Thunderducks. They've got 3 wards in there. A couple of them being spotted out by the LandBeforeTime, but not too many. I think only 2 enemy wards into the Thunderducks jungle. They're going to see the Panda Metaphor red buff start, sitting right on top of that one. And it looks like it will be the classic double jungle for both teams.
I wonder how aggressive we're going to see Metaphor go this game. Just because Echo, he's not like the easiest champion to catch right off the bat. I mean, with his E and his slows, I mean, he's going to be able to kite Metaphor out quite a bit. So I don't see Metaphor invading quite as hard, but you never really know with Metaphor, right? I mean, he just does things that most junglers normally wouldn't. Plays a little more aggressive than most junglers normally would. And nobody really punishes him for it. But with Echo, I mean, you at least have some kind of tools to disengage, get away from that. So I don't see HD 300 getting caught out like he did in the early game last time on the Elise, where Metaphor just kind of stayed in his jungle for the entire early game there, kept landing Qs, and they ended up picking up first blood on him as Panda 210 came to help him out. But we do see some good chunking coming out from True Rice here, as those AoE rockets are doing a decent amount of damage. But I think the real MVP is the Kench so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm not sure how that Janna into Kench matchup kind of goes. I think it's just up to Devmaster J to try and peel the Kench off of Pulsus if it comes down to it. Try and negate the eating that's going to happen. Sharptooth is going to look to devour Pulsus a lot here, and this is a lane, once again, just looking at both sides, the kind of carry that True Rice is. We expect this bot lane to go in the favor of LandBeforeTime once again, I think.
Absolutely, and like you were saying, it's really up to Devmaster, and it absolutely is, because if Sharptooth can stick to Pulsus there, then that's spelling huge trouble, just because if he can get that acquired taste passive, then he has a whole lot of tools to work with. He can stun him, he can eat him, and everything after that point. So if Devmaster can land the right tornadoes, get the Monsoon out to kind of peel it off, and they can definitely use the slows to their advantage from this Ashe. So the Ashe itself is also a good pick into the Kench. But, I mean, Kench still a very big threat into the rest of the team, too, because Rise doesn't have a lot of tools to kind of get away except for his snare. Orianna, she's a very immobile champion herself once she kind of uses her W like she just did there. So not like any dashes or anything like that coming from the team. So Devmaster, he's really got his work cut out for him this game, as we do see Sharptooth just missing that Q there a little bit. Going to take a little bit of harassment. But so far, the top lane seems to be going a little bit better for Caladir right off the bat here. But Metaphor, Holy man, he is in that jungle, and they're going to pick up HD 300. But can he land it? They're taking the turret aggro. First blood for Metaphor here right off the bat, but he's taking a lot of damage. They're going to turn this one around on Unfriendly Panda. Using the W to heal, but I don't know if he can turn it around. We do see the Q coming out from Tiang, going a little bit short. Not able to pick up the kill there. But Calladier already on his way here. They land the Bolo, and the Q comes out from Tiang. He's low on mana, though. I don't know if they're going to be able to follow this one up, but the wards are completely out there. Unfriendly Panda, is he going to decide to go in and distort onto that one? He's thinking about it, but he's just going to play that one safe here. Everyone's a little bit low on mana, so I don't know if they're going to be able to follow this up.
You do not want to be fighting a Rengar in and around bushes.
Oh, no.
Flash
What?
Panda.
No, come on.
Oh, the final auto, and he's eventually going to go down regardless, so that is a trade 1-for-1. Panda going to flash into that one. Unfriendly Panda trying to flash away and not going to be able to survive. It seemed like he was going to get out of that one, out of auto range, but just that last auto catching that one up, and Panda going to pay for that one. I'm not sure if that's worth, maybe it is, trying to get him snowballing in the top lane, maybe able to get him a little bit ahead so he can face on Calladier, but that kind of leaves Taeyang a little bit worse for wear now that his lane opponent has a kill, and that matchup already tilted a little bit towards LeBlanc's side, I would think.
Seems like Panda 210 is actually the one who's unfriendly out of the two there, deciding to flash in. Very aggressive play from him. I mean, even if he did get it, I mean, that's a flash burn. He's used his teleport already in the early game there, just because he did do the double jungle, so didn't have a lot of merits to that one. So even if he did kind of pick that one up and somehow get that one alive, it's still kind of iffy on the worth amount. More or less a flashy play from him there. Very cool though. I will admit, I said wow. It was very nice, man. But again, though, we do see HD. He's really prioritizing this mid lane, and he might catch out Tiang here, but Metaphor is on his way too to counter.
Metaphor coming from the bush. The chain is going to land on Unfriendly Panda.
Moly.
The passive is popped, but he's going to go down to the auto of Taeyang. HD300 is going to try and get away from that one. Just poor timing. HD300 going for the gank, and from the other side of the brush, it is Metaphor coming to, going to stun him up and pretty much instantly kill Unfriendly Panda going down from that one, not having flash available. And even through that invisibility up the passive, just so low, just takes one auto to take him down.
I'm really scared for when Thunderducks turn 6, because that's when they really hit their potential. They're gonna have the Shockwave, they're gonna have the Rengar ult, as well as Ryze is gonna be able to just do his perma snare onto Calladier here, who's having, time himself. They're trading back pretty evenly here, but once that level 6 spike comes in, they might go a little more into Panda's direction. But like, if they were level 6 there, absolutely they probably would have picked up that double kill, because Orianna's level 6 way stronger than LeBlanc's level 6. Just the amount of CC and damage that Shockwave brings is huge, especially when you're into a team fight setting like that counter gank was. So very good on Metaphor, though, to recognize the pressure that HD300 is putting down on this mid lane. And I don't know if HD300 is going to change that up or if he's going to continue to go that direction.
And already finished the jungle item for Metaphor here. Oh, and a lot of damage coming out of Panda in the top lane.
Absolutely. That was that instant stun we were talking about.
Level
just hitting
6,
6
level 6
before Calladier had the chance to, but able to gallop away from that one. Once he gets out of range, not having flash available for Panda means pretty much you just can't follow. So doing a lot of damage in his own right. No harm, no foul, though, because that thing is on a very, very short cooldown. So just flexing his blue muscles a little bit.
Big old blue muscles.
Big old blue muscles. But we just saw...
Tough guy.
Obviously, just saw that gank in the mid lane go the wrong way for LandBeforeTime, so they go back and they get a lot of wards for themselves, which is exactly what you need to do against Metaphor. It would have been nice to see that counter gank coming if they would have known that Metaphor was there. So picking up pink ward onto H300, and the green ward just going down now for Unfriendly Panda. Going to be able to see a lot more of what Metaphor's trying to do, and it looks like they're both teams kind of circling around this dragon. The pink ward is there for LandBeforeTime, but Thunderducks know that...
Metaphor is 6 now, too.
Yeah, and he knows the ball delivery system is active. Unfriendly Panda just now hitting level 6. Gonna do a little bit of poke on it.
Here he comes.
There it is, and that is the instant death for Unfriendly Panda. The Shockwave landing onto him just moments before that big knife cat jumped in on him. Calladier in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to try and fight this one. The Ignite's going to go out. I don't know if he can either. There's a lot of cooldowns for Panda, and it looks like both are going to be pretty low, and it looks like Calladier's actually going to win the trade on that one. Just having the Ignite means he's able to do a little bit more in the 1v1. Master J and Sharptooth want in on the action, so they're going to 1v1 support style and leave the ADCs to fend for themselves in the bot lane. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow on a True Rice, but it has the chaps disengaged. The flash is going to come out from both, and True Rice is low. The heal is going to be used for both once again, but not enough slows for Pulsis. Just really, really wanting that one. Just using everything. Both of them using all their summoners. True Rice just trying to get away from that one, and Pulsis saying, come on, what do you mean I'm not the true carry for this team? He's trying to flex his muscles on Ash. Deadmaster J and Pulsis now finding Sharptooth. He is really slow right now. Metaphor just trying to kill this pink ward, just hopping back and forth using that passive almost comically. H300 is there to back him up though. Cavalier's going to push him right into the stun range. Metaphor's going to walk out of that one, but Unfriendly Panda is there. Panda 210 is going to find himself in a little bit of trouble here. I'm not sure that Rise does enough damage. Ignite going to go onto him, and that's a double kill for Unfriendly Panda. Only a 2-for-1 in the top lane. Definitely in the favor of LandBeforeTime, getting a couple kills back for themselves and trying to stop this snowball that's already started for the Thunderducks.
Rise does not have the same damage that Riven does in that early game, so they can't take fights like they have been before. I mean, this Rise definitely takes time to scale up, so they have to recognize that, maybe play a little more calm, settle down a bit, because we see on Friendly Panda, he's got 3 kills to his name now, so that's definitely going to be a little harder into the matchup in that mid lane now.
3 kills, but still down almost 30 CS, and
Okay,
you see
yeah,
that
I know.
You see the Orianna, you see Orianna with a QW just almost half health.
Give him some credit.
The LeBlanc.
He hasn't had the chance to go by since he got those 2 kills. So
it was a good roam though. By
absolutely a good roam, and Orianna's gonna have trouble keeping up with that. But now having the double TP as well, for the Thunderducks now instead of the double TP for what was the LandBeforeTime's composition last game. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see if LeBlanc can have a little bit more of an advantage in this lane now that she can sort of hit these kind of level, these item power spikes. Metaphor's back with the gank in the top lane, and Callier's going to instantly die from that one. Not going to be able to see him. No ward going to be spotting out Metaphor on that one. Able to pretty much use his ulti off cooldown and get a kill wherever he pleases. Now 4-1.
I'm convinced Metaphor's Rengar does more damage than my Rengar. I don't know. I mean, I use the same skin. He uses that skin. But
Enchanted Crystallero onto the bot lane. True Rice going to get exhausted, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get devoured by his teammate, spat away from harm's reach. Able to get away, just showing what Tahm Kench can really do and saving this True Rice jinx in the bot lane. Definitely got to watch out.
Doing a really good job against the fact that Ashe might not have that early game, the rockets, the AoE rockets, the damage, but landing all the ultis so far and really just challenging this bot lane and almost pretty much ahead. They're just even, which you would say is a win against a Jinx in an Ashe bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. If Sharptooth isn't going to be able to land those pokes with the tongue there, not going to get a lot of damage, and Pulsis can, deal out his own kind of poke that Jinx can offer as well. And that's going to be a dragon over for the Thunderducks. First of the game for them. Now 3k up, 11 minutes into this one, 6-3 are the kills. And just good objectives there picked up by the Thunderducks.
Yeah, HD300 just finished off his Rune Glaive, I believe, and
he's got a Tiamat on him.
Tiamat, yeah, the Tiamat Metaphor has a Tiamat.
Having to ult out of that one. Calladier playing a little close to the chest. Holy cow, Rise still full health and able to push that wave to his heart's content. Calladier, that's a worrying trend if I do say so myself.
Yeah, and a worrying trend is also that every lane is behind in CS except for Pulsis, who's pretty even in CS. So not even just the kills is keeping them in the lead, just the overall gold and dragons in the lead for Thunderducks at this point in 12 and a half minutes into this game.
Yeah, this still isn't out of reach. This isn't as big of a snowball as last game happened, really. There hasn't been that really big fight that's went either way. Although, if there was a fight in the next couple minutes, I could see it definitely going in the Thunderducks' favor. Deadmaster J's going to walk right onto the chompers there. Enchanted Crystallero onto True Rice. He's not going to go down, though, saving him from a tower shot. HC300 is there as well. Tahm Kench, MVP of that one. Deadmaster J almost going down, walking right into the traps there. The Shockwave is going to miss everyone. HC300 is going to try and fight him now. Taeyang might be going down here. The flash and the heal going to be used by Pulsis. The teleport going to come in here from Panda, though. Panda is going to be there. Sharptooth is going to flash away, so is HC300. Unfriendly Panda is in the bush. They're going to just spot him out by the ward. Panda's just barely there. He's going to finally get the kill on HC300.
Somebody flash that wall, please.
Someone flash that wall. That is a double kill waiting to happen. I think only Panda can do it. There's going to be a flash in by Panda, though. He's going to pick him up with the Ignite, though. The passive is available for Unfriendly Panda. He's going to look for the juke here. Not going to find it because he's stunned up, and he's going to try and get away. But on top of the traps is Panda. Definitely a good set of Flame Chompers there by True Rice, able to save his teammate. Try and win back a little bit of what was lost in that fight. I believe it was a 2-for-1 overall.
Oh, here comes Metaphor.
And Metaphor is there. He knows. And he's going to be able to distort away from that one. Seeing that big red exclamation mark of death above his head, said, I need to get out of here. And definitely going to live to fight another day. Metaphor not going to have that cooldown in the next couple minutes. That means a small window maybe.
Small window.
Crafty.
Metaphor did not get a kill when using his ult. That was a big win for LBT.
I don't know. He's like 4 for 5 now. That's not a very good. It's not a very good percentage.
80%.
Yeah, he's only 80% from the field. But there's going to be a teleport going to come in, and it is going to be Caladir, but he's going to cancel it right away, knowing that he doesn't have maybe the follow-up needed. True Rice not healthy enough to go in on that one. Pulse is out of mana now, but that's going to be the tier 1 here. I don't think they have enough abilities to try and chase that one down. And this might be the tier 1 in the top lane as well, but it doesn't look like Caladir's going to get it. Metaphor going to do some counter jungling of his own. He's going to take away the red buff from HD300. Says, you don't need this, I need this.
That's his jungle. What do you mean?
Oh, sorry. Taking out one of his 4 buffs for himself. The stun going to land on Caladir. The amount of damage come out is absolutely ludicrous. Ignite going to go on a Metaphor.
A complete solo kill there.
Just a complete 1v1. The only item that Caladir has is Merc Treads. And that's not going to save you.
No.
Reduce the amount that he was stunned, but didn't reduce the amount of dead that he was. Yeah.
Decides to pick up a Glacial Shroud here for his AP laner, but recognizing that there definitely are some more threats than just this Rise on the team, having to compensate for Metaphor, who's got the Ravenous Hydra and the challenging Smite there, so very, very scary threat himself, especially when you saw the amount of damage. But great arrow coming in from Pulses.
Yeah, it looks like Sharktooth is going to try and chase this one down, but it's going to be the tier 1 for LandBeforeTime. Metaphor is in town. He's going to flash for this one. Doesn't catch the slow on Sharktooth. Still not getting any sort of slows. The Flame Chop is going down. Very well executed for True Rice. The flash just being wasted there by Metaphor. Not something we often see from him. And missing on top of that. But the disengage just too good there. The slows, the Flame Chompers, and just the devour on your own teammates by Sharktooth on the Tahm Kench. Just too much disengage. And we're really seeing this Tahm Kench pick kind of come into its own here against the Thunderduck squad.
Yeah, I'd say if they didn't have this Tahm Kench, then it would be a much worse off game than they are already at right now. I mean, they are a bit behind, but like we were saying, this is not like unbeatable. Rengar very, very squishy. If they can get the right pick on them, then they can really take them out early, turn the fights around, because I mean, their team has a lot of AoE to it. I mean, with the Jinx, with the Echo, with the Hecarim, they have a lot of potential. I'd say that's a good word to use for this team comp. They're kind of structured here with the Tahm Kench and this bot lane, and you know, the combinations they've structured here. Metaphor, what are you doing, bud?
He does know that Metaphor is in the bush. He's going to ult him back, and this is the pick they're looking for. Metaphor going to go down just 1v4 there. Pulsus is going to be a little bit low too. True Rice going after this one is 3v3. Taeyang does have the Shockwave available. Sharktooth's going to try and get that one. The chain just missing. Pulsus is really low. Deadmaster J is going to go down the Shockwave, going to land on 3 members. And Pulsus is going to go down eventually to Unfriendly Panda. Taeyang on the other side of the wall there. They know that he's there, but they might be getting ganked on. No, they are not.
2 for none, though.
Panda is in the top lane, and that is a 2 for none for LandBeforeTime. Definitely what they're looking for. You know, we're kind of HC300 just going for a ward there and finding Metaphor in the jungle, but using that ultimate, able to get back and heal himself a little bit, shield himself with the parallel convergence as well.
Flew all his cooldowns onto an Echo who can easily escape and heal up a lot with his ulti, and True Rice knew that and immediately flashed Chompers. But
Caladir might be in trouble. Not going to get the second stun, but now going to get it after flashing his Panda 210. You saw him sitting off in the wings there, trying to build up his passive to get that overload, and he does get it. And Caladir says, "Where'd you go, buddy?" Panda says, "You know what? I'm right here, man. Don't worry. I'm back to kill ya once again." 3-2-2 now on this Rise. 0-4-2. A bit of a rough time for Caladir in the top lane. Panda's still sticking around here, but the Kench is nearby, able to stick around and help his buddy out, but it might be a fight that they're not willing to take. Not even ulting. Counter break is still available. The parallel convergence going down as well. Tahm Kench is going to try and spit Panda closer to his team, and that is going to be a shutdown going over to True Rice, but that is another dragon on the other side of the map for Thunderducks. Now the second of the game for themselves. That's going to turn into many more dragons to come, I think, if LandBeforeTime doesn't kind of stop this little snowball in the dragon department.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that they definitely need to focus a little bit more on, but they are getting some good picks when they do need them. Oh, we do see Metaphor potentially getting caught out here as the slows are procced. Chompers coming out, but they're not going to proc onto Metaphor, and he's going to be able to get out of there. Hopping into the bushes, this is not where he wants to be, I don't think, and they're going to turn that one on. True Rice has slain Metaphor, though, and they're going to pick this one up on Devmaster. He flashes the wall, though, to get out, but Sharptooth flashing right after him. Unfriendly Panda, though, going a little bit harder. Pulsus, though, he's going to have to be careful. But we do see Oriana coming in on the backside here. She might try and get the Shockwave, but we do see Tiang. He's been gobbled up here, and the damage does come out. True Rice picking up another kill for himself. Killing spree, though, and Panda trying to turn this one around, though, as he's getting an absurd amount of damage off.
He might find it, but HC300 is there, and it looks like the Shockwave didn't have a chance to go off before Tiang got popped. If that one is mid-animation... Oh, Panda! He tried to cue the other bush just to try and catch him out, but that stopped him from getting any damage onto, I believe, who was recalling there? I think HD?
I think it was Caladir.
Caladir in that bush, able to barely get away from that one. That could have been pretty dangerous. Now, the 4K gold lead for Thunderducks in this game, now 20 minutes in. This game is looking a lot closer than last game was. LandBeforeTime catching some members out on Thunderducks that they really need to, such as like Metaphor and Panda. And now, Panda used to be 4-1, now 5-3. Same with Metaphor, used to be 5-1, now 5-3. So this game is still within reach, and there's a lot of counterplay to Rengar, and I think LandBeforeTime starting to find it.
As we see a bot lane fight going on here, Panda.
The Abyssal Void is going to come in, but Metaphor is there. He's going to instantly kill True Rice. Panda is going to go down eventually. The Unfriendly Panda is there as well. Sharptooth now, it's a 2v1. Metaphor is eventually going to go down to this one. HC300 is there as well. And he's going to get spit. He's going to get devoured by Sharptooth. And he's going to deny another kill. So another 2-for-1 for LandBeforeTime. They're just inching their way back into this one, finding these favorable trades. And you know what? Before long, they're going to be ahead in gold after this one. But they got to rotate back mid lane. They're too low to do so, though. So there's going to be a
top lane there.
This is going to be a tier 2 tower for the Thunderducks. But Caladir in his own right is in the top lane. Like you said, Pawnox trying to chip away at this tower. It looks like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is coming all the way from across town, and it is going to hit onto him. He's going to be stunned for a little bit there. Definitely no one there to follow up, though, so just trying to stop him from pushing. But Unfriendly Panda and Sharptooth are going to try and go in on this one. Deadmaster J has to use that ultimate to try and push him away from that one. The Rocket going to come from across the map, going to bring him pretty low. Caladir from the backside, going to pick that one up, and Pulse is going to go down as well. That is a couple kills over. The Shockwave going to go down onto just Caladir. Not sure what he's trying to do there. Sharptooth might want to get away from this one. He's going to go down if he stays too long. Metaphor's coming in the back, and he's going to go down. Does a double kill over to Tiang. Metaphor's going to try and do his best, but HC300 is there, and Caladir is there as well. True Rice so low. Tiang's going to pick up the triple kill, just picking off the members that are too low and staying too long. Panda's there. Might not want to face this one, but they probably could have 2v1. But I think still an overall just a one-person advantage trade there for once again for LandBeforeTime. It's been like 4 fights in a row.
Mess. It's just a mess.
1 for 0, 2 for 1, 3 for 2, 4 for 3.
Yeah, and they tied it up in kills, but you still see that CS, huge CS leads in almost every lane. Every lane is up in CS except for support, Tom Kench with the Relic Shield, picking up gold on that. So every lane is up in CS, and so you see that's the only reason they're up 3K, 3.5K right now. It's just off strictly CS,
and they also do have the tower advantage too.
That's something I'd like to see LandBeforeTime do better. Is like get like LeBlanc has 10 kills, but 85 CS. She needs to pick up gold and maybe even pull ahead of this Oriana, because right now they're probably pretty even in damage.
She's only LeBlanc is 400 gold behind, so that's not a huge amount, only being saved by the kills there, but the really big advantage is in the top lane and in the jungle as well. I believe Metaphor is at least 2.5k above HC300 at this point, and Caladir still down a couple thousand as well. Another saving grace for LandBeforeTime is True Rice, but it looks like they're going to go towards his Baron. I don't know if they have any vision on this. It doesn't look like it. Every member of LandBeforeTime is somewhere else on the map. Their jungler is back at base. Just recall, this is going to be a free Baron.
Great call from Thunderducks here, picking that one up completely uncontested. None the wiser is LandBeforeTime. And so that's definitely going to be a good advantage here, because that's what they needed. They need some pushing power behind their comp, because they don't have a fast pushing ADC like Jinx or anything like that. So they do need that to kind of back up their siege. With the Jinx though, like, we do see the gold difference there. I mean, it's up to 5k now that they picked up the Baron. There is a lot of available gold on the map though for LandBeforeTime, having the 2 towers, still not taking any drags or anything like that. But yeah, if they can pick up some towers and some objectives with this Jinx, who's very good at, taking those, then they can definitely try and creep that back up. And if they can keep getting these small picks and taking advantages in these fights, going 2 for 3 or something like that, then they can start creeping their way back up, because they scale extremely well with the Jinx, with the Hecarim. I mean, Hecarim's but I mean, all together, I think they scale a lot better than the other team. All they have is Rise.
Metaphor going to be caught out here. He's going to flash into the bush, trying to flash to get that passive on a True Rice, but it's going to be 5v1. He's going to go down eventually to True Rice. That's going to be extra gold in his pocket. That's definitely going to be helping them get back into this one. They got to rotate top and try and stop Panda pushing the top lane. The Shockwave just going to catch out True Rice. He's going to be 100-0. Instantly, TD Pulse is going to throw out that Enchanted Crystal trying to stop him. His teammate from going down the flash in from Chartreuse, just trying to slow Pulse enough for his teammate to get there, but it looks like the rest of LandBeforeTime is going to try and stop the tower from going down in the top lane. They're not going to be successful though. Panda able to get that one. The minion's going to help him out there, and he's going to be able to walk out of that one unscathed. So even though losing a couple members from their teams, they're still, regardless of losing these kind of team fights, they're picking stuff up on the other side of the map, definitely saving them. So it does look like it's might even be an extra dragon for them, but they're going to have to get out of here. The teleport coming in. They don't have any problems with giving this one up. I don't think it's going to be the first only for the LandBeforeTime squad. Definitely picking up some of these pieces that the gold is still on the map, but they got to get through the raid boss, that is the Thunderducks. Definitely not going to give up towers or anything for free, and still taking towers of their own as well. So you got to stop them from taking things, and I think they just need to keep winning these team fights, and eventually winning the team fights is going to outweigh someone split pushing by a little bit, just because the timers get longer, right?
Yeah, and I agree. The fact that the gold lead is growing despite giving up kills from Thunderducks is amazing, but the fact that they don't really have a true front line is kind of scary to me, and the Hecarim is getting resistances, Echo is getting resistances, and a huge
unfriendly Panda just getting decimated. Metaphor is going to jump in here 1v4. I don't think he's going to be able to go down there. The flash away going to save, I think that was True Rice there, but Taeyang in the backside here is going to get a kill for his own, a shutdown onto the jungler there, and the unfriendly Panda go down as well. Sharpie is going to find Panda in the backside, not going to want to fight him. Cloudy are going to go down as well. And that seemed like it was a good fight for LandBeforeTime. Metaphor jumping in 1v5, kind of just the martyr there, as the rest of his team able to pick up all the kills. True Rice a little bit low here. Taeyang somehow got around to the backside of that. I believe that the teleport was used. Able to just come from behind, have excellent damage. Big shockwave as well, do a lot of damage. And that is going to be an inhibitor, the first of the game for the Thunderducks. They might be able to take more, but I don't think they're going to try and find it.
Yeah, that was a great fight. I mean, the last couple they'd been losing, but they really recognized their strengths. Getting Taeyang to go into the backside there, get a great, flank off there. Same with Metaphor. He came in from the side, and they were grouped together, so he did a lot of AoE damage with that Ravenous Hydra, as well as he has a static shiv. We didn't really talk about that at all. I mean, really going for the crits, I guess, which not your average build onto the Rengar, but I mean, he wants, Taeyang just completely turning that one around, but we do see the flash coming out from Taeyang, trying to dodge that rocket, but here comes the rest of the cavalry as the horse is charging in. Probably not going to get the speed that he needs to catch up to Taeyang, using that W to his advantage. Taeyang going to just fly out of that one. But trying to just take some small points when they can, get some vision into their own jungle. But they do find Metaphor and the rest of the squad here, and they're going to try and turn this one around.
Deadmaster J is going to find himself a couple of members. Metaphor going to get Onslaught of Shadow on top of HD300, forced to use that ultimate, but he's going to get hit up by the TD Pulses. Enchanted Crystal. Metaphor still 1v3 in the backside. True Rice is low. He's eventually going to go down. Pulse is going to pick that one up. Shard 2 is going to find himself in a 1v3, and he's going to go down again. And that is a clean ace, except for Unfriendly Panda, who just came back up from being dead. And that is just the reverse of what LandBeforeTime has been doing. Now they're the ones getting caught out, and when they start going down, they're not ahead in objectives, so that means the next objectives are going to be their base.
You have very extended fights from both of these teams. Very, it's just so split up. I mean, we saw Unfriendly Panda go down so early, and then they just kept trying to follow it up, and then they just got really split into decisions and stuff like that. We saw HD300 was trying to take out Pulses, while the rest of the team was focusing a lot on Metaphor, and HD just ended up going down for nothing there. So, again, better communication from these guys.
The fact that Taeyang can blow up somebody one shot, the person on the other team with 11 kills, the majority of their kills, all of their damage, just based off the fact that she farmed well, made good TP plays, and kept in the game, and now can solo out the almost 2v1 the other team.
Yeah, he can go for carries. He can go for whoever he wants. He's not been afraid just to use the shockwave on a single person. The last 3 times he's used it on just Unfriendly Panda twice, the last 2 times, and then True Rice before that. He's just 100-0ing them. He doesn't even care if he's not getting a shockwave on the entire team. He's just taking out one of the huge carries for LandBeforeTime, and then the rest of his team just funnels in and does as much damage as they can. Pulse is now picking up some kills for himself.
Yeah, and then they win the fight, get objectives off of it, and keep that gold lead. Now it's 10,000, more than 10,000.
Exactly, and they're just snowballing it. They're kind of realizing that they need to start grouping together better. They need to use the rotations a little bit better and have the man advantage in some of these fights, which is really the only reason they're kind of come out in the last 3. They're getting better positioning. Taeyang is 100-0ing one of the carries, and they're just getting better positioning and just coming out ahead.
Yeah, it's really disappointing that at those last couple fights they made some poor decisions there, and then it ended up going back into Thunderduck's favor, because it really looked like LandBeforeTime was recognizing what they needed to do here, and they were really doing that. They needed to get picks on Metaphor, the really fed member here, and then take fights after that point. So now they found themselves in 5v5s, and it's not going very much in their favor. Looks like Thunderduck's, though, trying to get a pick here, but they're just going to decide to go for this Baron that's spawning in 5 seconds, and then, I mean, that's also Dragon in a minute, so if they can get both of these objectives, I think they're definitely going to be able to close the game out after that point. They might even just need the Baron with how strong they are now. And once they have that siege potential with the Baron buff, then it's definitely going to be, very one-sided after this point.
This one is going to go down. Unfairly Pan, almost 100-0 again just by Taeyang. The Shockwave is going to come out. They're going to try and chase away from this one. Metaphor going to use the ultimate, but he's not going to find anyone immediately. The ball delivery system not available since the Shockwave isn't there. And the pink ward's now in the base, going to dissuade any further action. There's a couple key cooldowns down now for the Thunderducks. This is a small window that LandBeforeTime can use to win the next team fight. They need to get a good, clean team fight, though. They need to get the majority of the members of Thunderducks before they start taking members of their own. And it looks like Pana's going to flash into this one. He's not going to find anyone, though. Calorie going to find himself in the middle of this one, barely going to get his ult off before dying. Unfairly Pana distortioning in, but he's going to cost him his life as well. Sharptooth's now just going to eat his teammate there, save him, but cost him his life. Taeyang is probably going to go down here. Not getting any crits, though, is True Rice. Not going to find anyone. Panda still doing damage. Deadmaster Jade there, just giving shields to people, whoever he needs to. And this might be the game here, folks. This might be the end for LandBeforeTime. This is going to be the 2-0. Deadmaster Jade is pretty low. All the members are pretty low, though. True Rice could get the resets. Pulses is doing a lot of damage, though, and he's going to get this one. This is going to be the game, folks. This is a 4-4-2 for the Thunderducks, and they're just going to hit the Nexus. They're tired of this one. They just want it to be over. It was a stressful game. It was a close one, but in the end, it is a 30-minute victory for the Thunderducks over LandBeforeTime, and that is the series win as well, 2-0. And oh boy, this was a game. This was a fun game to watch and a fun game to cast. A lot better than game 1, though.
And the Thunderducks are headed to Regina this weekend.
Yeah. Madison Square Garden. I mean, the Matrix.
Do want to congratulate both teams for a well-fought series before we break this one down a little bit. Thunderducks, of course, going to move on to the live semifinals and finals in Regina, Saskatchewan at the Matrix Gaming. Holy, that was a really intense game there. It seemed like LandBeforeTime really had a good shot at winning that one, up to 20 minutes in, but then 10 minutes later we find ourselves kind of in the same situation as we were at the end of last game.
Yeah, really showing off some strengths. I mean, in their defense, Thunderducks, very great team, so you can't take anything away from it there. LandBeforeTime played very well, especially True Rice in that bot lane, the AD carry. He really pulled out all the stops there. Played a great game, first one on that Corki, and then also second game rolled around there, and he did a lot of damage on that Jinx. But, I mean, all over, like, they really pulled it out second game and showed a lot better.
But also, kudos to Pulses. I think he really handled himself in that bot lane in game 2. They were... He probably won bot lane, too, and nailed a lot of Ashe ults, really used that champion to its full potential, and the damage was even shown at the end there. Huge damage, huge crits.
Yeah, really limiting True Rice in the second game.
Yeah.
When he really needed to. He kind of, True Rice was able to kind of have his way in the bot lane as Corki, kind of pushing around Pulses and Deadmaster J. But in the second game, really good job, as you said, Crafty, by Pulses and Deadmaster J to limit the really strongest lane in the bot lane for Sharptooth and True Rice. But last game, we were talking about how the only lane that won for LandBeforeTime was the bot lane. And then the rest of the lanes kind of got rolled over just by snowball-y picks by Thunderducks. But this game, I thought every single lane for LandBeforeTime really did okay, either going, even or ahead. And so that was a really big difference from last game. But then in this time around, it was the late game kind of rotations and positioning that kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, and I mean, as well, Thunderducks, they didn't really show too many cards here. The only kind of new thing they pulled out relatively was this Rise, and I mean, it went very well for him. He finished 9, 5, and 6 with just about 200 CS there. So, I mean, they didn't really show anything they didn't need to. I mean, Rengar has been played a lot before. Pulses, I mean, not really showing any cards there. And Deadmaster J, he's played the Janna before. I think the only risky thing is this comp is so squishy that other teams, once they decide to go into the semifinals and they end up playing teams like Notice Me Senpai, stuff like that, Vicious and Delicious, they're going to really take advantage of these kind of squishy, engage-heavy fighting comps that Thunder Ducks are structuring here.
Yeah, I'm not sure they have the liberty just to pick a kind of comp like this in the future, unless they're going against another kind of squishy comp. The other team picked a similar kind of style.
It was definitely a good game to pick this kind of comp. You saw the first. What were the first picks? Tom Kench, Jinx.
Tom Kench, Jinx right away.
Yeah, and then you see the LeBlanc come out. They save the last pick for Echo, so you kind of know that
they're going to be relatively squishy, right?
Yeah, there's not going to be that huge front line. You don't see that Braum come out. You don't see
Alistar.
Yeah. So the fact that I did like the Tom Kench pick, though, it was pretty huge. It could have been a lot more snowball in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It could have been a lot worse, but both teams playing great. Definitely a great series, and we've got another great series coming up tomorrow as well. We've got Indecision versus the Fellowship of the Nerds, kind of a grudge match. A lot of fireworks between the teams, and it's going to be probably a pretty good series.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that one would be a bloodbath out of any of them here.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have some heated moments between the two of them, so I definitely do expect some emotion in that game. It's going to be a great one.
And also preview of our semifinal in Regina, Thunder Ducks will now advance to play Notice Me Senpai in the semifinals, which will be at the Matrix. It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast. Just do want to remind you on that note that our finals are going to be the 7th. Semifinals are going to be on the 7th and finals on the 8th, live at Matrix Gaming in Regina. You can Google that one to find the address. I don't know it off the top of my head, but everyone can come and watch. It's free to come watch. And all of us are going to be there. All the casters are going to be there. It's going to be a live event. So make sure you come, bring your friends. It's going to be a fun time. Lots of good snacks and food available at the Matrix as well.
All I hear is about these snacks.
I know. I love snacks. Everyone loves snacks. Come on.
Yeah.
You got SKL, you got snacks. What else is there in life? Yeah. Definitely. On that note, guys, I think we're going to wrap things up. You guys got any final notes about this series in general? Anything you want to point out that we kind of missed there?
No, I think I'm just incredibly hyped for what's going to be following up. I mean, we definitely saw these are such fun teams to watch. I mean, there's just so many kills. I mean, they're at least over 30.
Yeah, every time
for one team. Yeah. Like it was 30-22 that game. So many kills. Just so many members getting so fed. It's so much fun to watch. It's not, like
damage.
Yeah, tons of damage.
Crafty, you got any notes on that one?
No, it's just fun being here with you guys and watching a great quarterfinal. Another exciting one tomorrow. I'm excited for, and just the hype for the semifinals.
Definitely. Yeah. I know you guys noticed us wearing our poppies. Maybe make sure you support our troops and veterans as always, as Remembrance Day is coming up soon. You knocked mine off.
Oh no!
So make sure you support the troops, and remember, on November 11th, of course, it's coming up in a couple weeks. So make sure you guys support the troops and remember our veterans as well. Gotta give a shout out to our sponsors as well. HyperX, we've played a couple of ads tonight. Doing a lot of prizing for the finals, so make sure you check them out. We've got all the links on our website. As well. Matrix Gaming, we already mentioned. That's where the live finals are going to be. Definitely check them out as well. If you're ever in Regina, they have the biggest LAN center in Saskatchewan, and you can play lots of computer games there. And last but not least, Widemouth Media, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the definitely their ads growing on us here. Everything you see, all the the overlays and everything, the website, all the logos for the teams, all created by Widemouth Media. Definitely a huge content creator. If you want anything done, videos, any sort of media stuff, check them out. All the links are on our website, and that moves us to our social media and stuff on the side here. Right here is our website, our Twitter, our Facebook, our Twitch, everything you need to know over there. So make sure you check that out. You can also check it out underneath the Twitch in our description there. We've got all the links for you. I've been Silky Mittens here. I don't know if I missed anything, but it's been a really fun night. Good 2 games here, 2-0 by the Thunder Ducks. I've been joined by my good friend Ponox and my other good friend Crafty Buckeye. We'll be back again, same time, same place tomorrow for Indecision versus Fellowship of the Nerds. See you guys later. Closer to